But what I want to talk about is the disaster bill that Senator Leahy a few minutes ago on the floor talked about, and talk about our urgent job to do in the United States Senate. We had terrible disasters in the South and the Southeast 3 years ago. Hurricanes, floods, tornadoes. Billions of dollars lost in South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, and other locations. And we failed to meet the disaster demands that we have on ourselves to help those farmers and ag producers and businesses and industries get back on their feet. Well, we now have a dire crisis. We have an emergency in the Southeast. And it's time we got the disaster bill we've been trying to pass for a year passed. We've had it as a rider twice. We had it as a rider on the bill that was going to end the shutdown. But at the last minute, we got negotiated out of the picture. Not because it was a bad bill, but because nobody would leave it in there and they did free up some money. We've got till March 15th to get it done. If we don't, they're going to be farmers in most of the Southeast that are going out of business. Industries that this nation depends on are going to be terrible. You're going to pay way too much for your food. And I don't know about you, but if you hadn't got nutrition to go with the energy you need, you haven't got anything. So I'm down here to plead with every Democrat and every Republican, when we get this booger to the floor, and it's going to be sometime before the 15th of March, to support the disaster relief bill for the southeastern United States, for Puerto Rico, which the Democrats wanted so badly added to it, and the president has signed off on that part, so we don't have a problem with the executive branch, and all the other provisions that are in it to see to it that those who are so badly damaged get their relief. Now, let me tell you what that relief is. I'm not talking about a handout. I'm talking about, example, the pecan industry, which is housed in my state of Georgia. Tremendous industry in Asia, tremendous export for the United States, tremendous balance of payments contributed to our country. 70% of it was wiped out. And you know how long it takes to replace a pecan orchard? 15 to 20 years. So they got to start grow from a seedling to be a full maturing tree to produce the product to get on the marketplace. Some of our crops are row crops and annual crops, but a lot of them are long-term longevity crops. So it's very important that we get them back on their feet. We reclaim our place in the marketplace, where if we don't, somebody's going to take it away from us. Maybe it's Egypt, maybe it's India, maybe it's somebody else. So I'm just down here to say climate does change, and we can do something about it by addressing carbon. And the economy changes. We can do something about it by helping industry. But disasters, when they come, if they're not responded to quickly and resolutely, end up causing big losses to everybody in business, in productivity, and in your image. So I want to ask everybody on the floor to please join me on hopefully before the 15th, but at least by the 14th of March, to support the disaster bill that's passed. Senator Shelby, Senator Leahy, myself, Senator Perdue, and many, many others, Senator Rubio, have worked very hard on this to bring it together, get the minds that were missing in place. And I want to thank particularly Senator Shelby and Senator Leahy for the time they and their staff have given us in the last couple of weeks to try and recover from the vote 2 weeks ago when we lost what we had thought was the solution to this problem. So, Mr. President, I appreciate the time on the floor, and I yield back to the distinguished senator from Delaware.